here's a thought, a theory.
Yeah.
I believe in this, and other people do. I'll say the theory first. It is the idea that we are going to move away from a world where you can trust anonymous data, right? So right now you can go on YouTube and you read comments, and unless it's clearly a porn bot, it's a human. Except now it's not.
Except
really,
it's
right?
not.
You know, the past
Or an
couple
Amazon
months,
review,
or an Amazon review, or a Yelp review,
Yeah.
or those a video of a politician saying something. Up until 2 years ago, that meant it was real, right? Video meant it really happened, right? A quote could be misattributed to somebody, but a video of them saying it, that's real. That is obviously falling apart, right? So all of the system that we have had of how information spreads, which is that you can receive a piece of media, and irrespective of who gave it to you, you can trust it. That is, I think, by the end of this year, done. Absolutely done. You cannot, so if some guy sends you, your friend sends you an email and says, here's what Donald Trump just said. Like, you cannot trust it.
This is the excuse he makes to ignore my texts. I text him all the time, and he's like, I can't tell
nobody verified this.
Nobody can verify.
It could be anybody.
So
I just want to hang out. I just want to get lunch with you. And you're like, what?
where's your blue check mark?
What's wrong
Where's
with
your blue check mark? This is the theory that I have, and I've seen other people advocate for, which is the idea that every person basically needs to be verified. As in, on a social media platform, on YouTube or whatever, you have to actually develop an identity that is verified, that establishes you are this human who expresses this particular point of view. There are actually companies now who are trying to push this of like world ID. Everybody's going to, so there's companies who are going to try to monetize.
Oh, the
on
global
this.
new order.
Yeah.
Spooky.
Right. No, nothing bad will happen about that. If you give one company the ability to determine who's real.
That sounds spooky to me.
This is no joke. This is what on the way to LAX to leave for this Tokyo trip, my Uber driver was talking about this, but in like a, with a bit of a Jewish flavor. And I was just in the back. I was like, I don't think it'll be like that. Like, I don't think they do that.
Yeah.
It's like, how many minutes away are we? But I think that is I think that's a step in the right direction. I think that's a cool idea.
To be clear, I'm not saying step in the right direction. I think it is the only world that we move towards.
Yeah.
Again,
it's happening.
I fully endorse everything about Elon Musk, to be clear.
You always say that.
And
Often
I
on
always
live.
say that.
And you've been saying
I have been
You have
saying
it
that.
tattooed.
and that's why
I
you
think.
ordered so much stock of his company.
Yeah.
So one thing, and I know people don't want to hear that Twitter does some things well, but one thing, I don't think they're doing this well, but the concept I think is the right idea, which is Elon basically pushing and saying people need to be verified. Do they all need to pay him $8? No, I don't think so. But the idea that like, hey, you just can't trust random anonymous commenters anymore. You can't trust random videos that people are sharing.
Yeah.
You need to have people who you receive information from have a verification of this is a human. And even if they're a human who uses ChatGPT, over time that would be established as this person's reputation and identity. But we have to establish some way of indicating this is an
that's the
actual
fucked up part, though.
human being. I don't necessarily think that's the worst thing in the world. I don't know that giving people the ability to anonymously spread misinformation, that has existed forever, and we're just giving them more powerful tools.
I
and
agree.
eventually we're saying, no, we're not allowing anonymous people to spread info. Caveat to that, of course, what about whistleblowers? What about all these other things, right? This becomes very complex.
No,
At a basic level,
so
this
many
has
layers.
to happen to some degree.
You're okay. So you're one. There's so many layers to this, dude.
Yes, it's
There's
extremely complex.
The
But
issue
solve
of
it.
like
We're gonna solve it.
But we've got what?
We got
perpetuation.
5 minutes left. And we're gonna stop.
Perpetuation of misinformation is not just like, anonymous and like bot accounts either. It's like, it can be very public, notable figures. Like if you took somebody like Alex Jones, for instance, right? That is everybody knows it's him.
I know he's right about everything. So I don't know why.
Well,
Tread lightly.
Sorry, it's a bad
Tread
example.
lightly on
bad
my
example,
man,
bad
Mr.
example. Let
Jones.
me look
Here's
for a
an
different
example.
guy.
You have to actually see a quote or video come from Alex Jones' verified account rather than from anybody else who said, look at what he just said, right?
Yeah.
I want him to tell me the frogs are gay. If someone else tells me, I'm not going to trust it.
That doesn't sound trustworthy at all to me.
No, it sounds crazy. But
Right.
if he says that, I
But
feel
if
like he's saying
now
the
there's a
worst.
little bit of
It's
trust here.
grounded
There's a
in
bit of
reality.
journalism to it.
No, but that's part of the reason is like I a lot of the issue is like not but maybe the misinformation issue in that regard is kind of the same as it already is. It's like people with like platforms and like who they are can just as easily like spread
Right. Yeah. I
things
mean,
like that.
to be clear, there's plenty of evidence that Russia, for example, does hire a bunch of people to just sow discourse or
yeah.
anger in our social
And
media.
where are those
That's
jobs going to go?
Right.
Doug?
AI
And
is
I would
taking
hate
those
for
The
them
jobs.
to
Russian
lose their
economy's in
jobs.
trouble
Right.
already.
Unironically, a lot of scammers are going to lose jobs because AI is going to do it for
Scam
them.
at scale.
Yeah.
I do think the other part of this is the verification idea. I had this idea passing in my head the other week, and it was because I was thinking about how on Weibo you need to have a Chinese social security number or like whatever the equivalent is. When you use Chinese social media, part of the like Chinese government's ability to like moderate and control the internet.
We
is
are
the fact
not
that,
paid for by the CCP.
No. Hold on. This is an
No, hey, pull up the
anti-CCP
studio
argument.
Ghibli.
Okay,
Xi
okay.
photo
Because
again.
I'm doing pro Xi Jinping movie stuff, and
Yeah.
you're doing
This
pro
is an
Weibo.
anti-argument,
And,
right? I think there is.
Yeah,
Doug's
there-
going to talk about how Taiwan's a
I'm
part
gonna
of
go
China in a second.
Well, because it is. I'm
And we're gonna
kidding.
get-
You know what? Maybe we got too far in this episode. We've got too far in this episode.
We're doing
We're like applying.
anti-woke pro Xi Jinping.
We're like-
podcast.
There we go. Yeah, okay, bring that up, Harry.
So-
yeah,
talk,
that's
yes.
my guy.
So
my
Big
God.
Dog.
That's my
Big
G.
dog.
Big Dog in the back. The part of the ability to moderate and control the internet in China is that all these social media accounts, even like game accounts and things, have to be tied to your like actual Chinese ID, right? Like you have to be identifiable at least to the government through your social media profile, and that in a way is actual human verification online. Like part of me does want that in the sense that when I talk to you in person, I know it's you. And maybe we'll lose that at some point
Yeah,
too.
pretty soon,
Which is
yeah.
the scary part. But the idea that I could be talking to you on Discord and I would also like to know it's you in the same way. But the government instating that system also starts to get scary and uncomfortable. And
It's
that's what
like
I mean
how
by
I-
all the layers, right? There's like all these like weaving layers of this of like there's pros and cons to like every possible way to like moderate and move forward.
Can I sit in the villain chair for a sec?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Go crazy.
Okay, you know what solves that? This is not a joke. Crypto.
Oh.
Kill me.
That's
Doug,
that
come
is
on.
that
ruined him.
is
Doug.
the point of
Take
crypto.
away the chair
Just to
and
be
burn
clear,
it.
just to be clear, right?
Oh no.
As my
dude.
fellow lovers of everything Elon and crypto do,
I'm gonna melt down.
look, this is too big of a discussion to get into right now, but I will quickly and succinctly say the point of crypto technology is not for hawk to a coin. It is to have
You bite your tongue.
yeah, sorry. Speaking for myself,
You don't.
I don't
trash
own
Haley Welch on
crypto.
this
I think
podcast.
basically all crypto stuff going on right now is scammy and shitty. But the idea of it, the technology of it,
Yeah.
is about decentralized ownership of things. And so if you had a verification system that was grounded in a what's the
Grounded in the blockchain,
right?
Atrioc.
The idea is like Bitcoin, you can't have
That's
a
gonna
government
be
come
on
in,
my tombstone.
take your ID,
Grounded in
and
the fucking blockchain.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I do see what you're saying.
Right, so
I do see what you're saying.
China's system is what you're saying. It's this verification, and it's extremely dystopian because the government can disappear you in a second, and that's terrifying.
And that's why the lemonade stand will be taking donations via Monero from now on.
yes,